Hello, I'm Alessandro, and today we're going to be talking about the Maltese language, or Lilsen Malti, a Semitic language spoken by about 450,000 native speakers in Malta, a small island nation in the Mediterranean Sea, about 160 kilometers south of Sicily and 290 kilometers northeast of Tunisia. It is also spoken by about 80,000 other speakers in the diaspora, the largest region of which being Australia, which harbors around 30,000 speakers. Most Maltese speakers are natives, since Maltese is not commonly learned as a second language. Maltese speakers are often also proficient in English and to a lesser extent Italian and French. To be more specific about its classification, Maltese belongs to the Afroasiatic macro family, a group of about 400 languages spoken throughout North and West Africa, parts of the Sahara, the Sahel, and the Middle East, making it ultimately related to languages like Arabic, Tamazight, Hebrew, and Hausa. It is a descendant of Sicilian Arabic, a now extinct language that was spoken in Sicily when the Fatimid Caliphate conquered the region in 827 AD and brought Maghrebi dialects of Arabic with them, eventually bringing them to Malta in 1049. 50 years later, the Normans, which are a group of French Christians, defeated the Arabs in the region and took control of Sicily, at which point more Sicilian settlers began arriving in Malta and bringing their language with them, leading the path for Maghrebi Arabic and Romance languages to mix. An extremely important event within the history of Maltese is when the Normans' rule declined in influence, at which point the new regime in Sicily expelled all of the Muslims from the region. This had the effect of reducing the influence of Quranic Arabic as an ideal Arabic, the role it plays in the Muslim Arabic-speaking world. This gave Maltese much more of an opportunity to diverge, since in the aforementioned parts of the world, Quranic Arabic or Fusha, being so widespread, often reduced the susceptibility of certain varieties to change, since there was always a sort of standard language present in the lives of Arabic speakers. The Knights of St. John's regime made Italian the official language of Malta, which remained so until 1934, resulting in the large amount of Italian vocabulary we see in the language today. Malta was also a British protectorate from 1800 to 1956, which is where its English vocabulary comes from. As a result, Maltese's vocabulary is about one-third Arabic in origin, one-half Italian and Sicilian, and the rest is mostly from English, French, other Romance languages, Persian, or Turkish, to name a few. It's worth knowing, though, that the one-half Italian and Sicilian grammar is often primarily seen in academic or legal settings. Day-to-day conversation and generally closed-class words like pronouns, questions, etc. mostly use words of Arabic origin. Even though two-thirds of the vocabulary isn't Arabic in origin, Maltese remains considered a Semitic language because of its structure. Maltese's morphology is mostly non-concatenative, meaning that it doesn't always involve affixing morphemes together sequentially like we do in a language like English, rather making extensive use of triliteral roots, often made up of consonants, permeated with transfixes, often vowels, to specify meaning. For example, the consonantal root or template fa, ta, ha primarily relates to opening, which comes from the word fataha in Arabic. Pay attention to how those three consonants say in the word with different vowels between them, changing the word's meaning. Fetah is the verb to open, as in yenftah titi'a, I open the window. Fetha is an opening, the noun of the verb fetah, as in badatil halolya sakem sabruhu fetha tasewesa. A muftih is a key, a tool that's used to open things. Shon harij al-muftih bish yiftah al-bib. Sean took out the key to open the door. One thing that really shocked me about Maltese is that it often attempts to adapt loanwords to this non-concatenative root system. For example, the plural of regina from Italian regina isn't reginiet, as some native speakers tend to think through analogy with some other feminine words like becoming omiet, but rather regeyan to match a common plural pattern formed in native feminine nouns such as meida from Arabic ma'ida becoming muwayyid, meaning tables. As for typology, Maltese primarily follows subject-verb-object word order, like in our example sentence, marks both the agent and patient on verbs, as in wisaytum, I warned them, a process known as polypersonal agreement, and is noun head initial. Here's some example sentences. Din hiya hajja li tawadni. This sentence is broken down as this, feminine, she, because there's no verb to be in Maltese in the present tense, specifically copulas, so you use the pronoun instead, thing that she confuses me. Another example of polypersonal agreement. Here's another sentence. Pay attention to the vocabulary. Il riforma fil migrazioni andhat includi il principio ta solidarietà. This breaks down as the reform in the migration must include the principle of solidarity. In this sentence, 5 out of the 6 lexemes are Romance in origin, except for andha, which means must, though the grammar features, like the T prefix in t'includi, she includes, and the definite articles are Arabic in origin. When listening to Maltese spoken, it's often perceived as softer than Arabic.
Jien waqt li kien qegħdin nistudja Malta dejjem preferajt l-Ingliż bħala l-ewwel lingwa tiegħu, dejjem rajt lilu dejjem kien neċċela feh fl-iskola. Fil-waqt li l-Multu ma tantx kien ikun għal qalbi, imma x'in ġejt hawnhekk fil-iskola internazzjonali iżid u iżid realizzajt kemm hu poter u kemm huwa l-qalbek il-lingwa tiegħek illi xejn ma jkun isejfer ma' ħadd iżjed tħissek daqsxejn mifruda anke kumda kemm tkun komda ma' lingwi oħrajn.
This might be because a lot of Arabic's guttural sounds, like uvular trills and pharyngalized consonants, were either merged or lost in Maltese, most likely due to Italian and Sicilian influence in the region. For example, the Arabic word da'ifa, meaning weak, became daifa in Maltese, with the pharyngeal fricative ayn being lost and the emphatic dod being lost as well. Here's a sentence in Moroccan Arabic or derija, and its translation in Maltese. Pay attention to the guttural consonants, also noting how similar some of the words can be to each other. قس على أطفالي قاعدين في دار هيت كل ديلهم مغلوقة. ستوري أطفالي قاعدين دار أشلي سهولة تاهم ملوقة. Note also how similar lots of the vocabulary is when we're not talking about anything super academic. Well, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed watching. I certainly had lots of fun making this, so yeah. Bye bye.